Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins. This is episode 24, and we have some gift giving and some conversations and some gear to hand out and to take care of during this episode. So this, unless you're into, giving gifts and conversations and gear checks, this may be a boring episode, but I'm going to try to get through it as fast as possible and as painless as possible here. First of all, I got a couple of rings. I want to give these to Sten. Don't have a belt for him yet, but eventually I will. There's a belt coming. Just gotta wait. I think... Where's Liliana? There she is. Switch over to her daggers. She's got her Orlesian purse cutter and her Pelerine slip knife from Liliana's song. And I picked up the Rose's Thorn. You can put that in place of her Orlesian purse cutter. So now she has the Rose's Thorn and the Pelerine slip knife, and they are, well, I think the Rose's Thorn is one of the best daggers in the game. Which one has the, oh, there it is. Generates cleansing aura, the Pelerine slip knife. That's actually from a mod. The Pelerine slip knife is in the DLC Liliana's song, and I have it in the Origins campaign due to a mod. It allows me to have it, so that explains why that's there. So if you're playing the game and you're looking for the Pelerine slip knife and you're like, hey, I can't find it, it's because it's in Liliana's song only, unless you get the mod. But anyways, okay, so that takes care of that. Is there any other gear that I need to hand out? There's some war paint for the dog. Let's see, what is he wearing? Let's just take a look and see what the dog is wearing, what kind of paint he's got on. Plus 30 physical resistance, and this paint that we were looking at a moment ago it's just plus 3 damage. And this collar is armor penetration and armor. I think I'm just gonna keep it the way it is for right now. I don't know. Let's see what color it is. Oh, that looks ridiculous. So put the other back on. Okay. Now it's gift giving time.
By my ancestors, this is a wonderful gift. By my ancestors, this is a wonderful gift. That looks fine indeed.
Okay, do we have anything more for Ogren? Yes, ale.
That looks fine indeed.
Is there anything else for Ogren? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Sten, Portrait of a Goose Girl.
I am impressed. My thanks.
I think that's it for Sten. Win. I know I have something for her. Here we go.
Oh, marvelous.
I think that's it for Win. Zevran. I'm gonna give him the gifts that are marked as anyone.
You have excellent taste. You have excellent taste. How nice. How nice. How nice. How nice.
Okay. And you got something for Liliana. Nothing for Alistair.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
And one thing for Morrigan.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Okay. So that's a lot of gift giving there. We just doled out all these gifts. Got a lot of approval out of it. As you can see, the approval window over here to the bottom left, it's all filled up with messages letting us know that we've gained some favor from our companions. I'm going to talk to Morrigan real quick here. When we ended episode 23, Morrigan was telling us about what Flemeth plans on doing. It was a dirty, dirty deed. So let's talk to her for a sec.
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Do you really want your mother dead?
I can see why you might ask this, despite knowing the fate that she has in store for me. The truth is that no. Under normal circumstances, of course, I would not turn against my mother so. For all that she is not the picture of maternal love, I mean her no ill will. But Flemeth herself taught me long ago, once you know your enemy, strike quickly and without mercy. Were our positions reversed, she would no doubt do exactly the same.
I agree. I agree. This is necessary. I just... No. I totally agree. I just can't believe that she would do this to you, but I definitely need you more than her, so... This is necessary.
Good. Then please, end this waiting and deal with her as soon as you can. This is driving me nearly mad.
That's totally understandable, Morrigan. We got a +1 approval out of her for that, which is a good thing. But we can't go right away, but I promise you we will take care of it. And that's all she has to say about that until after we take care of Flemeth for her. Let's talk to Bodon real quick, just real quick, unload some inventory.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
Let me see your wares, Bodon.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and sell him this, the death root, the deep mushrooms. As always, I know this is not cost effective because, yes, I am going to buy them back later and turn them in for XP, but that's okay. I think that's it. Oh, no, I can sell him these topazes. Get rid of those. Give them to him later. We have some gifts left. And that's it. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Does he have a bag? Like a backpack? Nope, he does not. Oh, I think the last backpack comes from Gorham in Denerim. We have nothing to say to the dog. Usually I go around this way and I make my rounds. I think we have a long conversation with Zevran. I don't think Liliana has anything to say. I'm not sure that Wynn has anything to say. And I know that Ogren has nothing to say, but we have a long conversation with Alistair and Zevran. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the smaller conversations out of the way first. Let's talk to Sten and see if he has anything to say. I don't think he does, but I just want to see.
You called.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Actually, never mind.
Very well.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
Oh, great. This is great. Okay. You said something earlier about mages?
We have no mages such as you do. We have beasts in the shape of men who perform tricks.
Why don't you have mages?
We have mages. We simply don't have the sort you do.
What sort do you have?
Our mages are controlled to do less harm than yours. They have their tongues cut out and are kept in pens.
Wow. Why have magic at all if it's so evil?
We live in the world and magic is part of it. One might as well reject the sky. Ashera, are we going to fight the Darkspawn or chatter until they grow bored and leave?
I had another question.
Very well.
What did you mean about fiends in Zevran?
Ours wear the faces of men.
So, do you mean they're abominations?
No, they do not have the excuse of demons within them. Darkspawn, abominations, plagues, and storms. Men are far more dangerous than these. One moment of betrayal can bring more ruin than an earthquake. You know this.
So, they're traitors?
They are Tal-Vashoth. They say they are Grey Ones. True in the knowledge of themselves. They are gaping holes where men used to be. Nothing can fill them.
What do they want?
I don't know. There was a village in the mountains of Saharan. Farmers. They grew cinnamon and nutmeg trees in perfectly ordered rows. There would always be one person waiting, a foreman, a harvester, rank didn't matter. Often they would say nothing. Simply watch as we worked to examine the empty house, a new one each time, that had once been the home of a colleague, a friend. We always made a point of searching. Now and then a body would turn up in a river eaten by rain and crows. More often we found nothing. Even in the worst parts of the jungle, the villagers would send someone with us, to see the tiniest piece of bone or cloth. Anything contained the possibility of their lost friend. Must we speak of this? We could be fighting something.
Right. I had another question.
Very well.
Why did the Tal-Vashoth fight you?
Isn't it the nature of a wound to bleed? I have no more answers than you. Why do we fight the Darkspawn? Why do the Darkspawn fight us?
But don't the Tal-Vashoth give reasons?
Now and then. Do the reasons matter? It makes little difference to those they fight. Tell me then, why do you fight?
To defend my people.
In the Antam, we are told of the enemy. Assume he loves as you love, hates as you hate, and fights just as hard as you. It's a lie, of course. But does that matter, so long as you stand and believe you know your enemy? The Tal-Vashoth wish us dead, and we wish to go on living. The point of our war is war.
I had another question.
Very well.
Maybe the Tal-Vashoth have a point?
Undoubtedly. They've used it to kill countless people.
They want things to change.
Death is certainly a change.
I didn't mean to offend you by speaking of this.
I have no feelings you can hurt, Warden.
I had another question.
Very well.
What do you mean your mages are beasts?
I misspoke. They are not beasts. Beasts learn eventually.
That's hardly fair, Sten.
Life is fair. Is there some reason you insist upon discussing this?
I'm just trying to figure you out.
I applaud your attempt to pursue knowledge, irritating as it may be.
Why do you think mages are so evil?
I know nothing of mages themselves, only their actions. There is no use talking of this. We should move on.
Alright, I have another question then.
Very well.
Mages aren't as dangerous as you say.
Clearly your chantry agrees.
Not all mages turn to blood magic.
My people have a tale. An Ashkari walked among the fields once, observing the laborers at work. Flax bloomed all around him, the color of still water. The air rippled like a curtain. As he stopped to examine a blossom, a bee stung him on the hand. The Ashkari turned to a laborer for aid and noticed for the first time the heavy gloves and coat she wore. As she tended to him, the Ashkari asked them why she was dressed so in such stifling heat. "To avoid your fate," she replied. "But there are many thousands of bees here," the Ashkari said to her, "and only one stung me. Surely your caution is unwarranted." "The stinger is always a surprise," agreed the laborer. "But so is the bee that simply passes one by."
That's more words than I've ever heard you speak before.
I've been saving them up. We should not linger here.
Alright. I had another question.
Very well.
Actually, you know what? Never mind.
Then I suggest we move on.
Yes. Let's go.
As you wish.
+8. I think maybe I answered a couple of those questions wrong, and I got some disapproval, but the overall end result was an approval gain of +8. I think it should be more than that, but it occurs to me that there may be another reason. Where is Sten? Of course, he's going to be the last one. Ah, okay. There's your answer. I don't think I answered him wrong now. I only got +8 because that's as many as he could have. He's at 100. You can't get more than 100, so that's it. All right. Well, that was a cool little conversation. I like talking to Sten. He's a cool character. I know Ogren has nothing to say because he's not an official party member just yet because we haven't actually finished Orzammar. I want to talk to Wynne. I don't think she has anything to say, but let's talk to her anyway, just to see.
What's on your mind?
I want to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Nah, never mind. Okay, she only has something to say after you go ahead and talk to Alistair and advance the romance between the female warden and Alistair. So, I don't think Wynne has anything to say until we talk to Alistair. Pretty sure Liliana has nothing to say also, but I'm just going to check.
Something I can help with?
Yeah, I'd like to talk with you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Nothing. Never mind. Okay, so we got quite a few conversations we can delve into with Zevran. And we have a romance thing with Alistair. I guess let's go ahead and talk to Alistair and get that out of the way, because then once that conversation is done, I can talk to Wynne again, and she'll make a comment on Alistair's and my relationship. And then, I think the conversation with Zevran is much longer, so we'll save that for last. So let's go ahead and talk to Alistair here. See what he has to say.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Ooh, time for the juicy gossip, I take it?
I've got this nefarious plan to go around to each of them and secretly tell them all the nasty things you said. That way they'll mutiny and I shall become the group leader.
Oh, very cute. So you know, I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Ouch, now I'm wounded. Look at me, bleeding all over the place. You're just not very nice, are you? Seriously though, I'm only curious. I've had enough time to form my own opinions, and I just want to see if yours are any different.
Alright, sounds like fun. Ask away.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
I thought you two would get along.
As long as he stays downwind, sure. Once he's had a bit to drink, however, forget that. There is no bit to drink with him.
I'm gonna say drink? Where does he get the liquor?
Where? You didn't think that big pack he brings with him is full of equipment, did you? The man is a walking brewery. Not that it's all bad. Dwarven ale has its charms, I suppose. I just don't think you need to drink to the point of blindness every time.
He's an excellent warrior.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. For a drunk, he's an excellent warrior, right? How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
Okay, the only problem I have with that right there is that Alistair said that Ogren lifts his sword. Ogren has an axe. Why can't you just have said axe? Oh well, whatever. Zevran, the elf, you can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow? I am going to say, yes, I actually do.
Really? Why? That's a lot of trust to put in someone who tried to kill you.
I'm willing to give him a chance.
Well, if you are, then maybe I should too. But that doesn't mean I won't keep an eye on him. He's just too shifty. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
There's no reason to be frightened of Sten.
I know. The more I talk to him, the more it seems like his philosophy is not so vile as the Chantry describes it. It's an odd thing to think, and yet he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
Yes, it does bother me a little.
Yet he seems otherwise honorable and even wise. I don't get it. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I believe that she believes in her vision.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
She's proven useful.
True enough. Who'd have thought a sister would prove to be an adept thief and spy, eh? Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
You two really don't like each other, do you?
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you?
I don't have to like her. She's useful.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard out of you yet. Just remember that she's dangerous too, and evil, and mean. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Okay, a little bit of approval there. Let's quick save. And keep talking to Alistair.
Look, before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister. And that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that.
We're in this together, Alistair.
That we are. I have your back. You know that, right? Well, now that that's out of the way, yes?
I have some questions.
Of course.
Let's see. Why did you keep your birthright a secret?
You never asked?
Do you want to make me more angry? No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I'm hurt that you didn't trust me.
No, please don't think that. It's not that I didn't trust you. It's... Please, let me try to explain. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then, after the battle, when I should have told you... I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that?
Yeah, I guess I can understand that.
I should have told you, anyway. It was important for you to know. I guess part of me likes you not knowing.
Why? What happens when people find out?
They treat me differently. I become the bastard prince to them, instead of just Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
No, that doesn't sound stupid at all.
For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that Al-Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's alright. Oh, I hope he's alright. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I guess I was just hoping that you would like me for who I am. It was a dumb thing to do.
Okay, I'm going to say... apology accepted.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go. Here, look at this. Do you know what this is?
That's a rose.
I picked it in Lothering. I remember thinking, how could something so beautiful exist in a place with so much despair and ugliness? I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't. The Darkspawn would come, and their taint would just destroy it. So I've had it ever since.
Oh, well, that's a nice sentiment.
I thought that I might give it to you, actually. In a lot of ways, I think the same thing when I look at you.
Aw, thank you, Alistair. That's a lovely thought.
I'm glad you like it. I was just thinking, here I am doing all this complaining, and you haven't exactly been having a good time of it yourself. You've had none of the good experience of being a Grey Warden since your joining. Not a word of thanks or congratulations. It's all been death and fighting and tragedy. I thought maybe I could say something. Tell you what a rare and wonderful thing you are to find amidst all this darkness.
Aw, I feel the same way about you.
I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it.
Sounds good. Off with the armor, then.
Ha ha. Bluff called. Damn, she saw right through me.
You're so cute when you're bashful.
I'll be standing over here until the blushing stops, just to be safe. You know how it is.
This is funny. I've just realized I've never done this before, so I don't know exactly, I don't know exactly what to say, and I don't know what he says. So this is all kind of new to me right here. Let's quick save. Keep talking.
So, all this time we've spent together, the tragedy, the brushes with death, the constant battles with the whole blight looming over us. Will you miss it once it's over?
Miss the constant battles, or miss you?
I know it might sound strange, considering we haven't known each other for very long, but I've come to care for you a great deal. I think maybe it's because we've gone through so much together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Am I? Fooling myself? Or do you think you might ever feel the same way about me?
I think I already do.
So I fooled you, did I? Good to know. That wasn't too soon, was it?
I don't know. I need more testing to be sure.
Well, I'll have to arrange that then, won't I? His breath, but you're beautiful. I am a lucky man. Now, let's get back to what we were up to before, lest I forget why we're here.
It's actually not bad. Had to adjust my microphone there. Yeah, actually, the romantic dialogue between Alistair and the female warden, it's really not that bad. I'm actually impressed. I've never gone through it before. The romantic dialogue between the male warden and Morrigan I've done several times, and Liliana I've done a few times, and it's not bad, but this is actually pretty good. I see why many female players praise the romantic dialogue between Alistair and the female warden. They say that they like it, they think it's well written. I agree. I completely agree. It's pretty good. Good job, BioWare. Let's keep talking.
Your desire is my command.
I have some questions.
Of course.
So, if you were raised in the Chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
You know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do. Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in winter?
Sex?
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I, myself, never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
Aw, that's cute. You're a virgin.
Cute? Well, hearing that from a beautiful woman does make me feel much luckier. I'll say that.
You think I'm beautiful?
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying.
I'd never hurt you.
Nor I, you. Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush.
Alright, quick save. Keep talking.
Your desire is my command.
I have some questions.
Of course.
We've already asked him about the Grey Wardens. Okay, so never mind. Talk to him again.
Your desire is my command.
I'd like to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
Let's see. What should I say here? I'm gonna say, I need to tell you how much I enjoy your company.
You know, I was just thinking the same thing. Given the circumstances, things could have been so much worse. I'm so grateful that you're you, instead of some other Grey Warden. That sounded better in my head. I just mean to say that I've really come to care about you.
Aw, I feel the same way.
Now we just need to be rid of that pesky archdemon, and everything will be back to normal, right?
Okay, quick save.
Your desire is my command.
I'd like to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
Just gonna kiss him and see if that gives any approval. I think it does, only the first time. So, kiss him.
Oh, you want to... right now? Well, who am I to refuse?
Cool. Got a little approval out of that. I think if you can continue to kiss him every time you talk to him, but you only get approval that first time, I believe. That's the way it works with Morrigan also. If you're a male, that is.
Something you need, my dear?
Oh, he loves me now because he has a different greeting. Something you need, my dear. I'm going to say, I'd like to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
I'm going to say, so how would you like to join me in my tent?
Join you? In your tent?
Yeah, you seem a little nervous.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be nervous. It's not like I don't want to. I must sound like a fool. You know that I've never done anything like this. With anyone. I was quite sheltered after all. I care for you so much. Whenever I think of this, I feel like a bumbling idiot. All hands. I wish I could be better at this. I want it to be right.
I think this is as right as it gets, Alistair.
With the Darkspawn on our heels, death awaiting us at every turn? Sure, why not? Hot. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot, if you are.
Okay, what am I gonna say here? Forget it, Alistair. I need a real man. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say, yes, I'm willing, haha.
Right. I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay, folks, don't get excited. They still have their underwear on. It's PG-13, I promise. Or maybe PG. I don't know. It's quite suggestive here, but there's no actual nudity. See, she's wearing a bra. Totally clean, kids. Totally clean.
You know, according to all the sisters at the monastery, I should have been struck by lightning by now.
Is that so? No, I'm gonna say, not for that performance.
Meaning it was so great that the Maker himself has decided to spare me the usual punishment, right? Right? Oh. You do realize the rest of our little party here is going to talk, right? They do that.
I'm going to say, first smart comment, and I'll feed them to the Darkspawn. No, I'm not going to say that. I'll say, let them talk. I don't care.
Oh, sure, now you say that. By tomorrow, it'll be icy glares and awkward silences right before battle. Just you watch. So, what now? Where do we go from here?
I'm going to say, we stay together, no matter what happens.
Right, I can handle that. I hope. Before we go, have I told you that I love you? I did. Well, it won't kill you to hear it again, will it?
I love you too.
See? Was that so hard?
Okay, I think that's it. Do you want to talk to him one more time just to make sure?
Something you need, my dear?
I have some questions.
Of course.
Never mind.
Something you need, my dear?
Discuss something in private.
We're in camp.
So now's as good a time as any to talk, right? Yeah. We can sleep together again, kiss him again, or I can break up with him. I'm just going to say never mind.
Fair enough. Off we go then.
Okay. So now I think Wynn has something to say, because now we've advanced the romance with Alistair a little bit. I think she has a few comments to make on that. So let's grab a quick save. Okay, let's just talk to Wynn.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
Oh, you know about Alistair and me?
It's hard not to notice the doe-eyed looks he gives you, especially when he thinks no one's watching. It's almost too sweet for my tastes, and I'm an old lady who should be making lace hearts and fuzzy blankets with animal motifs.
Let's see. I'm gonna say you're not like the average old lady.
No, I won't be making socks with pom-poms for you anytime soon. But that's hardly my point. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Alistair is a fine lad, skilled in battle, but quite inexperienced when it comes to affairs of the heart. I would hate to see him get hurt.
We're just taking it one day at a time. I'm not gonna hurt him.
You are both Grey Wardens, and he is the son of a king. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires.
I can handle my responsibilities and my relationships.
Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
Well, I don't want to have to make that choice.
Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this.
Okay, I'll consider what you've said.
I am just trying to minimize the suffering that may come to either of you. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
Didn't lose or gain any approval there. However, I do know that playing a male character in Romancing Morrigan, when you talk to Wynn, even if you give the exact same responses that I just gave, she still disapproves. Actually, I think she has something else to say. Let's find out.
What's on your mind?
Have you changed your mind about Alistair and me?
I have watched you for a time, and perhaps I was wrong. There seems to be something special between the two of you. He seems less guarded when in your company, allows himself to relax, and he seems genuinely happy.
Let's see. I'm gonna say, well, I'm happy with him.
I think I was too harsh in my judgment before, and I am sorry.
Apology accepted.
What you have may not last forever. Death and duty may part you. But love's worthiness is not diminished because of that. I should have seen this before. Instead, you learn to cherish every precious moment that you spend together, knowing that it may be the last. And for those of us watching, well, it brings warmth to these old bones to know that something so beautiful can be found in the midst of chaos and strife.
There we go. Got a little bit of approval out of her after all. And I think that's all she has to say about the matter. Let's try once more. Just to see.
What's on your mind?
Like to ask you... No, I'm just going to say nothing. I shouldn't have disturbed you.
It is no trouble.
Okay, that's all she has to say. Does Liliana have anything to say about me and Alistair? I think she does. Let's check.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to ask you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing, never mind. Alright, finally. Time to talk to Zevran. Okay, this gonna take a minute.
Here I am.
Can I answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Let's see. What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is the desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
Well, you did quite well, no doubt.
Within the Crows, I did. But it has been something the Crows have devoted a great deal of time to perfecting. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
Right. That sounds like it could be useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Of course. A little bit of approval there. Let's get into a better position here, I think. Like that. Yeah, that's a little better. Quick save, please.
Here I am.
Can you teach others to be an assassin?
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the Crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
Very well. I'll respect your word.
If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The Crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
Okay, a little bit of approval there. Let's keep going.
Here I am.
I'm going to say, care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the Crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
But what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
That sounds awful.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
I think I understand.
As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Well, I'm happy to have you along.
And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Got quite a bit of approval out of that one. Okay, next.
I've a question, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity.
Why would I do anything with you?
Oh, I imply nothing specific, of course. One simply assumes that once your Grey Warden business is finished, you would have no need of an assassin to follow you about. Am I wrong?
I could always use a friend.
Indeed. I might even be glad to call myself such, come to think of it. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much to do, yes?
Yes. Keep talking.
What say you?
Care to answer some questions?
By all means.
Do you really enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
No, you're probably right.
I often find myself the instrument of fate, ending these lives for one necessity or another. I console myself with the notion that most of them had it coming. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
Yeah, you know, I think I know what you mean.
There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Why not? You can do whatever you like.
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by, honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Okay, let's keep going.
What say you?
Care to answer some questions?
By all means.
So, tell me about your adventures.
My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days?
I meant your times as a crow.
You mean you want to hear about the grueling training? Being locked in an oubliette for weeks at a time? The slavery? The festering injuries? Or are we seeking something more glamorous?
Something more glamorous.
Well, that should be easy enough, I think. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics.
On your second mission?
Well, it was just the one mage. Not as simple a mission as the vagrant Grey Warden or two, perhaps. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning.
And she didn't try to kill you?
Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly.
Wow. So you didn't actually kill her?
Not actually, no. I was a bit unimpressed by the development at first. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The Circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around.
Wow. You got lucky.
I got stupid, in fact, and very lucky. It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see.
A wise lesson to learn.
And one that not everyone learns, I'm sad to say. But that's enough tale spinning from me for the moment. Talking about the mage has made me a bit nostalgic, I'm afraid. Ah, the good old days.
Great. Keep going, keep going.
What say you?
Care to answer some questions?
By all means.
So, tell me more about your adventures.
Again? Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
That sounds like fun.
Haha, you have rather macabre tastes, I see. I like that. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Osrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
You killed a prince?
Me? Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Osrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocel from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Osrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Why not simply arrest him?
Prince Osrin was too powerful. Who could you send to arrest the man that wasn't either in his pocket or that didn't fear being assassinated first? And even royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
Wow. So, what did you do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
Wow, you're very lucky indeed.
It's true. I live a charmed life. One of the prostitutes that raised me was a fortune teller. Said I wouldn't die young. She was rather startled by that. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Zevran is such a great character. Let's keep going. Keep talking.
What say you?
Can you teach others to be an assassin?
I suppose the crows are already furious, yes? What harm is another tweak to their nose? If you wish to be trained in the basics of an assassin, I can certainly show you. Or anyone else who is also a rogue. It shall be fun. I will make it fun. I promise.
Okay, that's how you unlock the assassin specialization. Okay, let's keep talking.
What say you?
care to answer some questions?
By all means.
So, tell me more about your adventures.
Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
Oh, it's alright. I understand.
Thank you. Perhaps another day, huh?
Eventually he will tell you that story, but you can't press him or else he'll get angry and he won't tell you at all.
What say you?
Do you stare at everyone like that?
Not everyone, but a beautiful woman like yourself. Why not? I'm sure you draw many stares from men and even other women. Does this bother you?
Not really, no.
But you would prefer I desisted, perhaps. It would be difficult traveling as we do in close proximity, but I am nothing if not a gentleman.
Yes. Yes, I'd prefer you stopped.
Your wish is my command. Now that that is out of the way, shall we move on? With my eyes fastened elsewhere, I assure you.
Okay, got a little bit of disapproval for that, but that's okay. You have to take the approval hit because, you know, you have some romance choices, right? And I'm choosing to romance Alistair in this playthrough. So you have to fend off Liliana, who will flirt with you, which I already shut her down in an earlier episode, but she didn't lose any approval over it. But when you let Zevran down, he loses a little bit of approval, but that's as easy as you can let him down. You can't let him down as gently as you let Liliana down. But so we lost a little approval there, but that's okay. Let's keep talking.
What say you?
Can I answer some questions?
By all means.
Tell me a little bit about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
What is it? The rains in Spain fall mainly on the plain? I'm going to say, don't you want to go back?
It's not really a matter of wanting to go back. I cannot go. At least not yet. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
Of course. My mother was better than any gem.
You have me there, indeed. I, for one, can make no such claim, as I never laid eyes on the woman. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Now that is odd.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
You sound like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather, perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Well, your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Let's see, I'm going to say, well, you need to make the most of where you are.
Quite right you are. I see the Grey Wardens do not recruit fools. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
But yeah, so I said the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain, but also Antiva is not. It's not just similar to Spain. It's kind of similar to Italy also, because he speaks of Antivan leather, and I've never heard of Spanish leather, but I have heard of Italian leather. So, and his accent is kind of a mix of. It almost sounds like a Spanish or an Italian person trying to speak English. So, I think it's kind of a mix of those two. Let's keep talking to him. I think he has.
What say you?
Can I answer some questions?
By all means.
Let's just move on.
What say you?
I would like to discuss something personal.
Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Never mind. That's it. That's it. Okay. So, now, what should I do now? I want to do a gear check. I want to do a level check and a gear check. Level check, 13, 13, 12, 12, 12, 12, 13, 12, 12, and 13. Oh, I'm back to where I started. Okay, everybody's 13, which means... Okay, some of us are 13, and some of us are 12. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and give everybody tier 4, because everybody's... most everybody, not everybody, but most everybody is 13, which is the requirement for tier 4. So let's hit 4, and use the upgrade wand. We'll hit...
Well, alright.
Liliana, and Win,
Lovely.
and Ogren,
Of course.
and Sten.
As you desire.
Okay, Alistair. Alright, Zevran.
Of course.
My Warden character. And one more, Morrigan. Last but not least. She has to run out there a ways to grab Morrigan. Okay, now everybody's got their gear caught up to where it's supposed to be. I really like Wynn's. It looks brown, doesn't it? I like Wynn's new dress. It was green, now it's brown. I think tier 5 is red. It looks really good on her. Anyway, let's grab a quick save, and let's go to bed. It says, do you want someone to share your bed? Now typically we invite Barkspawn, but I think this time, since we've romanced Alistair, we can ask Alistair to accompany us. Invite a companion, it says. Invite Alistair. Don't worry folks, it's PG-13. Everybody still got their underwear on. No nudity. Aww. And this looks like a great place to hard save it. I think we've crammed as much conversation and as much content as possible into episode 24 here. We've had a lot of boring conversations. Some of them were kind of funny, but let's go ahead and grab a hard save here, people. Save. Save. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.